I'm Zach.
And I'm Lindsay.
And this is the Game Forum, Extended Forum, Episode 11. Today we're going to be talking about Battle Royale in Modern Warfare, the PlayStation 5 manufacturing costs, Batman's new suit, and Disney wanting more developers to make games similar to Jedi Fallen Order. But first, what have you been playing?
So I've actually been playing a lot this week.
That's a change.
I know. I got on to look at Call of Duty Season 2.
Yeah.
And played some of that. And there was an update for Crossout. So I played some of that. And I wanted to get in and see the new season of For Honor.
Yeah.
So I played some of that.
Oh, wow.
And then also played some Dreams for our first impressions.
Yep. So we did have a first impressions. It was our first 2 hours of the game. We only did the first 2 hours, and then we talked about it. That should be up already by the time you're hearing this. Other than that, was that just going back and forth?
Yeah. Like I said, I kind of hopped around a little bit this week. I'll get into some more of Call of Duty and Crossout in a little bit.
Cool. So I started off the week. I played a little bit more of State of Decay 2. I've been playing that game on and off. I think I'm officially off now, just because it's like I've got to the point to where I'm like, oh, okay, I just have to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. And then when I get bored, I get to go to a new map and restart. And I'm like,
yeah.
I don't think I want to keep doing that. And then, of course, I played a little bit of Dreams, which the video should be up by now. But then Quantum Break is a game from Remedy. It is only on the Xbox One, and it's on Game Pass. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I really, really loved Alan Wake and Control. Of course I'm going to love Quantum Break.
Yeah.
Blows my mind. I don't know how I didn't know this. It is connected to Control.
Oh, really?
It is straight up. Like, the abilities that they get is caused from an object of power. And on this board that you find it starts off in the college, there's an AWE. And it has Alan Wake experience or Altered World Events. Altered World Events is in Control. The second expansion that's coming to that game is called AWE. The rumor is that it's Alan Wake experience. This game came out in like 2015.
Really?
And they're like we're like, oh yeah, so all this is connected. There's some more news later in the show talking about Control possibly making more expansions, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this is perfect. So I played, and oh my god! And so like, you play as two characters. Sean Ashmore is.
Well, let me ask you this: then, would you consider doing like a review on Quantum Break? Then would that tie into your review of Control? Or would that be important enough?
Yeah, I'll definitely review.
I didn't realize the two games were connected.
I didn't either. I'm definitely going to review it. I just don't know when I'm going to actually finish it.
Gotcha.
But there will be a review up within, I'd say, the next month. For sure. Maybe not my next review, but the review after that would definitely be Quantum Break.
Okay.
Because I was like, it feels just like Control. It looks like Control, plays like Control. And like I was saying, you get to play as Sean Ashmore, who is a real voice actor. He plays Quicksilver in the first iteration of him on film. Like the
okay.
It's him. Yeah. And then the other guy, which you haven't watched Game of Thrones, the other guy is the person who plays Littlefinger. And he's in a bunch of other stuff, but I'm like, these are two well-known actors that you straight up play as. And I'm like, this is...
So they're not other characters, they're just themselves?
Yeah, they play as themselves.
Oh.
And, no, they're playing as characters, but their likeliness and their voice is there.
Oh, okay, I got it.
And then also, Lost, the dude who died, spoilers, in the boat that drowned, he was also in Lord of the Rings. He was one of the hobbits. Pippin, I think.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's in the game, too.
Huh.
And I was like, what? Like, this is crazy. And so I was just like, I'm super enjoying it. It's really good. The story's really good. The help you get from this organization is played by the girl who played Jesse Faden in Control. So it's like, it's all
connected and tied together.
And
that's really cool. I like it when games have that level of consistency.
And there's a photo of someone that was like wanted. And it's the same photo of Sam Lake, the author and writer of all the games, who was also, he lended his likeness to Max Payne 1 and 2. Huh. So it's literally just, all of their games are a melting pot of each other. Huh. And so, I mean, that's all I played. I played it for like maybe 3 or 4 hours, maybe less. And I was just like, why did I not know about this? Because it's Remedy.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So to start off the news, you got something right?
So, was it Call of Duty just put out Call of Duty Modern Warfare just put out Season 2.
Yeah.
I was going through looking at their new Battle Pass. They added Rust back in.
And a new map, too, right?
Yeah. There's
There's
another new map, and what is it? It might be the one you're thinking of. It's the
Isn't it?
it's like a Sam's Club almost.
Yeah, I was about to say a grocery store. I'm like, there's no way. Is it really?
Yes,
Oh.
yes, it is. I played on that map some. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of little areas where you can like kind of crawl into.
Yeah.
And then it's got like scaffolding in there, and it has pallets on some spots and no pallets on other spots. So you can get up into sections that's like a level up.
Yeah.
And then you can go and run around like the area where the registers are. Like it's pretty much just like a big warehouse style big box store, like a Sam's Club or a Costco. So it's pretty fun. I played some matches on that one. I did some Cyber Attack. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, Cyber Attack, I like. It reminds me too much of Rainbow Six, and it just makes me want to go play Rainbow Six.
Yeah, I do
This is pretty much
like
the same
Rainbow
mode.
Six. Looking at some of the other add-ons, they've got some really cool, like engraved weapons in their season pass. They've got some other cool like trinkets and stuff. I think the 2 free weapons, the new weapons.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to like him quite as good as the last one. Looks like a UMP5 and a Galil.
Oh, is it? Okay. Is that what the other one is?
Yeah, I mean, they're not called that, but that's essentially what the weapons are in real life.
Yeah.
So I think I like the G36 and the Tavor better on the last one.
Yeah.
But everything else, like all the other add-ons, I feel like are stronger in this season pass than the last one.
Yeah, and it's
Like,
just
it's
season
got-
2.
Yeah, it's just season 2.
So there'll be at least one more season before the new Call of Duty comes out, I think.
I think they're probably going to do a couple.
Well,
They'll probably do 4 seasons.
You think they'll be... Because they're 70 days long, right? Or...
Yeah, I think so.
They're like 3 months?
I think it's like 50-something days.
Okay, so there should be at least 1 or 2 more seasons before the
Yes.
new Call of Duty, and I'm sure they'll continue doing seasons afterwards. Okay, so that's at least that's enough content before.
They've also added in a new mode. It's I don't know how long this is going to be in there. It says it's in beta, but it's a shoot house tournament.
Yeah.
And it looks like it takes, I think it's 32 players and puts them into groups of 2, and then they compete in brackets and then move up the brackets to go into finals. And depending on each level you move up, you get different unlocks, like trinkets, calling cards, and like if you win overall, you get like a special weapon variant.
Ooh.
But you also get experience every time you do it.
Yeah.
And it's just fun. I mean, it adds a lot more. Like, Gunfight was already like a really tense style game mode.
Yeah.
And this one's like, oh man, like we got to win this next match so we can go on to the semifinals or whatever.
That is true.
It just keeps pumping up that tension.
Yeah.
So for players who really like that adrenaline rush, I highly recommend jumping in on this. It was really fun. I didn't really care for Shoot House as much, but Shoot House combined with this just really ratchets it up to 11. And then they also added in the Pro League stuff. So now you can start playing like ranked matches and stuff, trying to I guess see what you can do versus like the best players in the world.
Yeah. Did you see how big that update was?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was like 20 gigs or something.
Well, what? It was 50 for me.
Okay, maybe I wasn't paying attention to how big it was.
Yeah,
but it was massive.
50 gigabyte update. I'm like, what are they? What are they doing?
Well, I mean, honestly, they did a lot. They added in a ton of new stuff. They added in some new maps, some new modes.
Dude, next gen needs to have like Call of Duty alone is 150 gigabytes.
Yeah,
that's insane.
That is getting really crazy.
And that's like not. I mean, you gotta. And that, well, I guess that's because the audio files are uncompressed, which is why they were like. I think they won like audio game of the year or whatever. So that's probably it. But still, like Red Dead Redemption 2 is 100 gigabytes.
Yeah. Okay. Now, after install, was it 150 gigs? Because some of that probably overwrote some other stuff.
I checked. It's still like 152 gigs for me.
Darn, that's big.
Yeah. I was like, this is absurd. I'm glad I bought a 2 terabyte hard drive or like a external hard drive. What else got updated? Did you notice the?
Yes. You can talk about this one a bit.
So on the menu they've added a new thing, and it just says classified. But this is like the worst kept secret. I think everyone knows what this is, and that is the battle royale mode called Warzone. And so far, it's the little bit that's come out from this is that it is going to have solos, duos, and squads. They're adding the ping system, which Apex Legends added, which is awesome. And there's a lot of people making a big deal about this, but I feel like everyone forgot that was also in Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like that's a cool thing to add. Like, don't be mad at other developers for using that. You know? Yeah. And it's just like, if that's the case, then everyone should be mad at every Grand Theft or every open world game ever for copying Grand Theft Auto 3. You know, like it's just like, it's just so stupid. And then what else? There's a Gulag mode that's going to allow players to 1v1 each other to come back into the battle royale. It's also going to be a free standalone game. Apparently, it looks like it's going to have the mode within Modern Warfare and also be a free-to-play standalone game, which is good. The more the better, especially in a battle royale game toting 200 player count.
That's crazy.
Hope this
that's
is
gonna
balanced.
Be nuts.
That's going to be a little absurd.
I do have to say though, I think with I really enjoyed the Blackout mode from Call of Duty 4 or Black Ops 4.
Yeah.
I did not really care for the multiplayer part of it as much. It was just too much health. But with the health so much lower in this game compared to the last one,
it should be good. Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel like this one will move at a much quicker pace.
I wonder if you can find like gold tier weapons in the Warzone Battle Royale mode that are like fully customized. You know, because like in the multiplayer you can only have 5 attachments.
Yeah.
What if you get a one that has like, or get a gun that has like
all of them?
It has like all the perks, and it's just like,
I'm sure they'll probably do that for this mode.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about that. It is going to be. It has to be soon because this stuff's there's been footage leaked now.
Okay, what if that 50 gig update also already has this in there?
That is true,
and because it's so big,
yeah.
And they're going through and finishing some of the beta tests and stuff until they open it.
There was something else.
That's a big update.
Oh yeah, that is just for a season 2 update. Season 1 wasn't even this big. I saw something that's going around online that someone somehow got loaded into the Warzone lobby. And it was just like totally just took a screenshot and posted. It was like, hey, I'm somehow in the lobby for Warzone. And it was showing like that's where like the duos and squads and stuff got figured out. So it's like someone just accidentally got loaded into the lobby.
Oops.
Yeah. It's like, oops. And then there's been footage of like someone like in the map and stuff. And the new map, the grocery store map, is actually like if you go to a private match, go to spectate, and you zoom out, that they're saying that's the map. Like it's not like it like blurry and stuff. It's like a fully realized map around that grocery store.
That's
so
cool.
If that's the case, maybe that lays true to what you were saying though. Like if they already got the map in the game, maybe they got the mode. They're just locked out until they announce it.
Yeah,
because they probably want to do a Apex Legends style release. What would be really cool is if they do it later this month on the release date of Anthem. Like the year-long Anthem.
I like to kick them when they're down.
Yeah, and they are most definitely down. For our next story, I think we got some more Battle Royale stuff, which Lindsay has the info on.
Yeah, okay, so it's not really, I guess, Battle Royale.
Oh, I meant Battle Pass. There's so many battles.
Yeah, okay. It's Crossout has actually just added in a Battle Pass system. This is the first time in the history of the game they've added this. They've done kind of some similar stuff, like some seasonal events where you can unlock some gear, but this is probably one of the biggest. So for this, what they did is they added in a brand new faction with all new weapons and stuff you can craft. They've added in a bunch of new parts you can unlock and earn. Yeah. And they've added in essentially this unlock system to where when you level up, let's say you unlock like a new weapon for this faction. Not only do you get one for hitting that level, but you also get the ability to craft it. So essentially people playing this season and level up in the Battle Pass will be able to craft it and sell it to other players who later might not level up to a point where they can even get these. Yeah. So it's going to give you a little bit of an edge and some extra credits if you want for crafting stuff, which I think is interesting. And they have a really different system set up for their how you level up in the Battle Pass. Yeah. So in most Battle Pass systems, just any experience you get goes toward leveling up in the battle pass.
Yeah.
This one does not. This one essentially gives you challenges, and then by completing those challenges, it gives you XP toward the battle pass.
Yeah. Okay.
I like and kind of don't like this. So the weekly challenges, I got all this week's challenges knocked out in like, I don't know, like a day, maybe a couple hours. So it's not really hard, but after looking at it, it does kind of limit how fast you can level up. And if there's something else, like let's say you went on vacation for a week or something, you could not like make up the difference in that amount of time.
Yeah.
So you can't really just play this game hardcore and hit max level. It's gonna be a little bit more of a slow burn, but it's easier to unlock stuff. So it's kind of got some pros and some cons in there, but it's definitely a different way to doing it. Because if you just get in and play a regular match, it gives you 0 XP toward the battle pass.
Ugh. That's not good. For Honors added a battle pass too, right?
Yeah, so For Honor just added in a battle pass for the first time as well.
Is it like it's all cosmetic, right?
Yeah, it's all cosmetic
Is it
stuff.
free tiered or do they have a paid tier?
They're both. Crossout does both as well.
Okay.
You get the parts for free in Crossout.
Yeah.
But to get some of the blueprints and some of the other stuff, you have to do the paid tier.
Okay. For Honor, the free tier, do you think it's worth it, or is it worth to get the paid tier?
Okay, to me, looking at it, it really depends on, and this is something I kind of don't like about the one in For Honor.
Yeah.
Pretty much there's like gear and outsets for all the characters in the game.
Yeah.
But because it's on like a list, like let's say you have one character you really like and love to play as, and it's your main character.
Yeah.
They could either be at the very beginning of that tier, or they could be at the very end of it. So, like, if you like one character, you're like, man, I really want this embossing set for this character, but I have to hit level 80 to get it. And I'm going to get, like, all these other ones that I don't really care about first.
Yeah.
So there is kind of that going on, which... I mean, I don't know how else they could really set this up, to be honest. I mean, you don't want something to where you just play for like a day and you've unlocked everything in the game. But, I mean, I get what they're going for, but it could be kind of annoying if there's like a character you really want and it's like all the way at the very end for all their stuff.
Yeah, that would suck. But, For Honor hasn't done us wrong yet.
No.
So, I'm sure this is a learning experience, or maybe it's just the way that it's going to go.
I will say, too, like in this system that For Honor just put out, a lot of the cosmetic stuff in this one is like very dragon-themed. So if you're like a big like dragon person, like they have a lot of embossings, a lot of like paints and other stuff that are very like dragon-themed and dragon-ish.
Yeah.
So if that's your thing, you need to hop in For Honor like immediately.
Yeah. I wonder if that's for the Chinese New Lunar Year.
Is this the year of the dragon?
I think so.
Okay. Their new season is based on like hope and peace and all that. Like all the factions are supposedly having like a time of peace throughout the war.
Are they all gonna like stop fighting?
Oh no, they're having like tournaments now instead of just trying to all out kill each other. So it's a cool spin on their whole lore. They're trying to expand their lore a little.
Yeah.
And some of the new equipment, I was looking at some of the stuff for the Lawbringer. That's like one of the ones I really love playing as.
Yeah.
And like he's got some really cool gear, like the axe head is like an eye with a dragon like wrapped around it.
Yeah.
And then the blades on either side are like the wings outstretched. So I'm like, okay, they got some pretty cool stuff in here. I'm probably gonna have to play through this too.
That's pretty cool. You know what would be so cool though is if there's you log into For Honor, they're doing a big update or blah blah blah, some type of update, and so you log in and it starts off with a cinematic. It's just it's like introducing the new chapter of For Honor.
They always do that.
Oh, okay. Well then maybe it's like a new update, new season, For Honor 2.0, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal. And so you log in, and it's a cinematic, and it's all three regions fighting each other. It's a cool cinematic, super epic, and then these portals start opening up above them, and it's like they all stop and they're all looking up and they're like, what is this? Are they all about to team up to fight whatever's coming through? And it's just a bunch of rabbits to start dropping down. Like, oh man, that would. And then it's just a game mode where it's just like all the minions are replaced with rabbits.
They did that.
What?
Yeah. You haven't played For Honor a lot.
No.
Like they did a crossover. I thought I told you about this.
I know they did the Assassin's Creed one.
Okay, they did Assassin's Creed. They did a Halloween one. They also did, it was like a Attack of the Were-Rabbits or whatever.
What?
That was totally a thing where they replaced all the minions with rabbits. So what you wanted and described has already happened. But
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
So pretty much every time For Honor does a new event, the trailer they release on like YouTube and other stuff plays. You can skip it, but it always plays at the beginning of like the new season when you first log in.
I had no idea, and it's not going to sound like that, but I promise I did not know. Oh man, that's kind of cool. I've always looked for a reason to go back to For Honor, but every time I start, I'm like, I suck. Yeah. It is a hard game to get into.
It is a very hard game to get good at because you just have to start anticipating people's moves. I get in, I'll like play a season, and I'll get in, I'll level. I've got like some really high level characters like maxed out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I've gotten all the gear I really want. And then I kind of lose interest and stop playing for like a couple months. And then they put new stuff in. And I'm like, ooh, that looks cool. I'm going to get back in and play that.
Yeah. Also, Rainbow Six added a battle pass. Or they're going to add a battle pass with Year 5. But I haven't really looked into what it looks like or anything close to that.
Did you see the trailer for the 2 new characters?
No, I have not.
Okay, one of them is like...
Oh, wait, yeah, for Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
I was thinking of For Honor. Yeah. They're like sci-fi.
Yeah.
Like, this is... I'm...
Like, one of them reminds me of, like, Juggernaut from, like, the old X-Men movies.
Yeah.
He's, like, running through walls and junk. And I get the feeling that's going to be his, like, ability to, like, run through a wall.
So I was like... Because their plan is to get 100 operators, 50 on each side.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're going to run out of ideas. This is getting insane. And I noticed that one of the operators was, like, an MI6. It was like he was in the suit and tie, very James Bond. I'm like, okay, that's kind of unrealistic compared to what they're doing. And then now that they're doing this, I'm full blown like they have to go crazy with this stuff.
Okay, if you look at the trailer, the other one is like a girl and she's like on a space station.
Yeah.
But she's like on the moon. You're like, okay, how is she on the moon? Wouldn't she die without a helmet?
Yeah.
But if you look, it starts kind of glitching like it's a hologram. So I almost guarantee you her ability is going to be like hologram projection.
I hope not, because they already have Alibi that has those 2. She has 2 holograms you can lay down. So maybe
I haven't really played it. It's been a while since I played some Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, because I was like, 100 operators. How are you going to differentiate their abilities? You know, like you're going to have the similar ones and stuff. Because there's 2 people with shields, but one of them has an electric charge to the shield. So I mean, maybe there's going to be that small of a difference, but who knows. Moving on to our next news. So this is from Adam Bankhurst at IGN. And PlayStation 5 manufacturing cost reported at around $450 per unit. And so this goes, scarce components have caused the manufacturing cost of the PlayStation 5 to rise around $450 per unit, forcing a difficult price-setting decision in its battle with Microsoft. As reported by Bloomberg, these high costs have caused Sony to take a wait-and-see approach with PS5's price, which is different from past console launches, as Sony usually sets the price February of the release year, which they're probably not going to do this year. With mass production starting in spring. For comparison, the PlayStation 4 retailed at $399 and was estimated by IHS Marquette, I don't even know what that is.
I don't know.
To cost around $381 to manufacture. If everything's similar to the PS4, the PS5 should be around $470. I don't know. What do you think?
I think PlayStation is probably going to hold out and see what Xbox is going to launch at. I think that's why they've held out this long.
You think they're just going to wait till August? And like, you go. No, you go.
Okay, I don't think it's going to be till August. I think it's probably going to be soon.
It'll be May, June.
But what I think is going to happen is Sony doesn't want to put itself like it was in the PlayStation 3, where they're like $600, and then
just get 2 jobs.
Yeah, Microsoft comes out and they're like, Well, that's bad.
Yeah.
We're gonna do $400.
Yeah.
They want to be in the spot they were at last time, where Xbox comes out and says $500, and they come out and like drop a mic on stage, $400.
Yeah.
Like they're willing to take a loss at it for a while
because they'll make it up in the games.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to make it up in game sales.
Yeah.
So they've operated, I think, pretty much the launch of nearly every console at either a loss or very slim profit.
Yeah, because like with the PS4, that was what, like $20 that they got per console.
They weren't making money on the consoles. They're making money off all the games everybody's buying.
Yeah. So
and especially now that more people are downloading games.
Yeah. They're making more money.
They're making more money because no one's going to GameStop anymore.
Yeah, and PlayStation is going to want to keep the lead. So they are willing to we'll drop it to $400, take a cut, but we'll be number one still.
Yeah.
So
that's it's their first place position to lose, and they could easily lose it if they screw up.
Yeah.
So I think they are very worried about screwing up.
Yeah.
So I think they're doing the smart decision. They seem to be really focused on the PlayStation 5 as being a 4 games console.
Yeah.
I think Xbox. I get Xbox is wanting to do the whole ecosystem thing.
Yeah.
But they're saying, Xbox, the new one, will have no exclusives.
At least for the first 12 to 18 months.
Yeah.
But that's still why would you do that?
No, that's not going to push anybody to buy one. It's like, okay, so you're telling me that if I go out and I spend all this money, my game's just going to look a little bit better? Well, why? There's nothing. You're literally telling me there's going to be nothing exclusive. Now, why would I go out and buy it?
The interesting part of that is that first party. But there still could be third-party games that are only on the Series X.
I mean, that might be true, but I think as a company, that is not a smart marketing move.
If Series X comes out at $600 or $500 so the PS4 is earlier or less, then it's like, why would anyone...
I think both consoles are probably going to launch at like the $500 price point.
But if Xbox gets announced and it's $500, Sony could go $400.
They might. I mean, that would be a huge expense at their part. But I mean, if they did, they would start with a huge, probably like one of the biggest console launches in history. And it also depends on what games they show. Yeah. Because from the sound of it, Sony has a lot of games planned that they haven't shown anybody yet.
And like with the PS3 era, the Xbox 360 came out a year earlier, was much cheaper than the PS3, but in the end, the PS3 sold more copies or sold more systems than the 360. So I mean, they can be smart, and I hope they are. I feel like they're going to be smart about this, but they're either both going to be $500 or Xbox could come out and say the Series X is super powerful and it's $600, which is not going to be good. But if it's super powerful, then that's fine.
I think, right now, like, what is it? The current gen Xbox is more powerful than the current gen PlayStation.
Yeah, the One X.
They're so close, I can't really tell a difference. If you ever watch those videos where they show it, this is it running on an Xbox and this is it running on a PlayStation. Yeah. I'm like, I could easily switch those logos and not tell a difference of whose is whose.
Yeah, there's some things like with Witcher 3 on the can run 4K at a higher frame rate, while the PS4 Pro can run a checkered board, like fake 4K, at the same frame rate. But you're not really going to be able to tell the difference. Yeah. And it really depends on your TV.
Yeah. Okay, that does make a huge difference, like what kind of TV. If you have a 1080 TV and you're playing a 4K game, you're not going to be able to see anything anyway.
Yeah. And so, like, both systems, all they have to do is hit 4K at 60 FPS. And there are games currently on these systems that do that. Yeah. There's... Call of Duty is 4K 60 FPS on both the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. Yeah. And that's this generation. So the next generation, that's going to be every game. Because most games on the PS4 Pro offer performance over resolution. They'll just be able to do both at the same time next gen, which is like, that's all we need.
Well, I mean, I personally think regardless of if PlayStation or Xbox is slightly stronger than the other one, I don't think it's really going to matter. There's not going to be enough of a difference to where, like, Call of Duty 10 or whatever is going to be like, well, we could do this on a PlayStation, but the Xbox isn't strong enough to do this. I've never seen it where, like, it's been that much of a difference where one won't work on the other.
I do remember, what was it, Shadow of Mordor, that Lord of the Rings game, the Nemesis system, wasn't on the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions. Mm-hmm. But that's not a I mean, I guess that's a big deal. It's a cool system, but that.
Well, I'm talking about like for current gen. I don't.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying like. I definitely think something the PlayStation 5 will be able to do. The PlayStation 4 won't be able to handle.
That's true.
I'm just saying like something the PlayStation 5 will be able to do. The Xbox Series X won't be able to do.
Oh yeah. They're going to be really similar to that. So they're not. They're going to be so close to each other that
it's not going to make a difference.
Yeah. It unfortunately it really comes down to the games and the service. And one has the games and one has the service. And it's like who's going to be better at recouping the other.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Sony is actually partnered with Microsoft to help them on the PlayStation Now service.
Yeah. And like you look at the games that Microsoft have and they're not very good. And I mean in my opinion, and someone could, like them a lot more.
Okay, they have Halo and Gears of War.
Yeah. Like
and that's it.
I'm trying to think. The only new IP that has come out on the Xbox One is Quantum Break, which was a spinoff by Remedy. Sunset Overdrive, which Insomniac just got bought by Sony, so that's not going to happen anymore. Scalebound, which got canceled. And, I mean, there's more. There's Cuphead. Cuphead is a big deal.
Was that Microsoft exclusive?
Yeah, but it's on Switch now.
Okay.
They put it to Switch, so it's just like...
Not really an exclusive.
Yeah, so it's like...
I mean, most people have like an Xbox or a PlayStation, but pretty much everybody's got like a Nintendo Switch or something.
Yeah, and so it's like there's nothing on Xbox that is worth playing that is only on Xbox. But even then, the games that are only on Xbox are going to be on PC.
Yeah, I mean they're just shooting themselves in the foot with that one. I get they're wanting to expand, but like as a console thing, Xbox or Microsoft is looking at it more of...
They want to be a brand.
Yeah, they want to be like an Xbox brand. You can play it on your phone, you can play it on the PC, or you can play it on the console.
Yeah.
And I think Sony's like, we're going to put a lot more focus on the console, but you can also play it on your phone, and you can play it on, what is it? Horizon Zero Dawn you could play on the PC now. It's getting a port or something.
Yeah, it hasn't been officially announced, but it's going to happen. It's all but confirmed.
I feel like they're both trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just their focus is way different.
And
I kind
of
of
them
like
has the games and the other one doesn't.
I think I like Sony's, they're pushing the PlayStation priority, but then also saying you could do this stuff on other platforms. And Microsoft seems to be going, you can do this stuff on other platforms, or you could do it on the Xbox.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely going to leave Sony a big win in the console war, if that's their focus, because Microsoft is not focusing on the Xbox.
Yeah.
And that was what their problem with this last one is. Their last press conference for the Xbox One is it's your one-stop shop for all entertainment, TV, television, television. And what about the games?
Yeah.
What about the games?
It's like Xbox is like standing above the world and like, we're going to send our games out to everyone. And then the people below are like, we just want good games. And it's, like, they're like...
Well, I guess they'll figure it out.
I hope so. All right, what else do we got talking about today?
Okay, so did you see the new Batman suit for Robert Pattinson?
Did you see the black and white one? They did it black and white, and it looks a lot cooler.
Okay, I didn't see the black and white one.
I saw the red
one.
Yeah, I saw it. Apparently, everyone's freaking out about it. Just the little face shot and like the music that's swelled up. I'm like, this might be the best Batman movie ever.
Yeah, okay. I definitely going into this, I'm like, Robert Pattinson. I'm like, I don't know. But at the same time, I was like, Ben Affleck, I don't know. I liked Ben Affleck as Batman.
He's
I
a
thought
good actor. He just screwed... I don't know. He's too, like, grumpy, which I guess Batman
is kind of grumpy.
Yeah, he is. But Christian Bale kind of overdid it, too.
Yeah.
And it's like...
But on this Batsuit, I really like it. It looks like more of the Arkham, like, movable armor Batsuit to me, which I really like. I think that's a really cool look. And the music was really cool. It was really dark. And there's a lot of talk, the logo on his chest.
Yeah.
They're thinking it might be based off a comic that came out a couple years ago in which he hunted down the pistol that killed his parents, melted it down, and used it as an armor plate on his Batsuit. And I'm like, holy crap. And I'm like, if that is legit, that is awfully dark.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is going to be
very dark Batman movie.
It's going to be in the same vein as Joker, but I don't think they're going to be connected because that's
I don't think they're going to be connected either.
But DC is like, look, we can't make the big action set pieces like Marvel, so we're going to do insane character studies of these people, and I think that's almost I like that better than the Marvel movies.
Yeah,
but
the way they release this, I think, says a lot. Like, they could have just put out some pictures of, Robert Pattinson.
This is setting a tone.
In an action pose, throwing a batarang or something.
Yeah.
Like, this is, like, dark. This is, like, really dark.
Hype done right.
Yes. Because I was not feeling him as Batman at all, and now I'm like, okay, I want to see this. I really want to see this. This looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to see it. Do we know when it's coming out? Is it this year?
I don't think they've released an actual hard date yet.
Because they're still filming, or they're close to filming, I think. I'm not actually sure, but I remember when Robert Pattinson got casted, everyone was like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Like, no one's paid attention to him since Twilight. This dude has been in so many movies. And he's a character actor.
Yeah.
And so, those are the best ones. Christian Bale is a character actor. Heath Ledger was a character actor.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, And they're all the most memorable roles that you can think of were almost always from a character actor.
Yeah.
And so it's just I think he's going to nail it.
Yeah. No, I'm very excited for this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, me too. When this got announced, this was a big deal, and then it was all of a sudden I don't get why this is a big deal, but Jeff Keighley will not be at E3. Now, it's just they were like, did you happen to see the tweet that he put? He does this stupid thing. I think it's stupid. He types out on his notepad, screenshots it, and then he'll post it on Twitter.
That's
I think
weird.
It's because Twitter caps the amount of letters you can do
or something.
I think that's it, but I'm like, okay, Jeff Keighley. I know he's responsible for a lot of stuff, but it's still video games. He's not a political person that's responsible. But he was just I will not be attending E3. He thinks that E3 is going to be a disservice to the fans and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, E3 is changing.
Yes.
And so it's no longer the industry event for sellers to go to sell their products.
It's looking more like
it's
just
a fan event,
fan convention style thing.
And so him choosing not to go is kind of oh man, you're kicking E3 while they're down, but it's also what are you going to gain from this?
It's not going to be the same kind of thing you started going to. But he's gone to E3. Honestly, I saw a thing that said he's gone to E3
every
for
year.
27 years or something.
Yeah, he's always done the E3 Coliseum, which is separate from E3 but still connected to, and it's just he interviews developers and stuff, and they show gameplay, and it's just people are saying ooh, hey, Jeff Keighley's not going to be there, and there's a whole bunch of memes of they're oh my God. And
so we just did a video on is E3 dying, and now this came out.
It's dying.
It may not be completely dying, but it's definitely changing into something different.
But to be fair, E3 has always ebbed and flowed.
Yes.
This could just be the ebb, and then it'll go back to the flow, and everything will be fine. It just sucks that this is happening the year of a console launch.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that really does suck about this. But there's a whole picture going, or the ESA, shortly after he made this statement, came out, was here's the 10 studios still going to be there. I'm 10, okay. There's only 10 out of the almost 20 plus that would only go there. There's here's the 10 that are coming. And 3 of them don't even do their presentations there at all. Nintendo will not be there to present.
Yeah, Sony won't be there.
Yeah, well, Nintendo will be there for with a booth set up, but they won't be there
doing a show or presentation.
Microsoft won't be there doing a show. They do it at their Microsoft Theater. They will have a booth there, game stations and stuff. And then there was one other one. EA. EA won't be there either. And so there's it says 10, but there's really only 6 that are actually going to be there. So I thought that was a little silly. But yeah, when everyone was talking about this, they were oh, Jeff Keighley will not be attending E3. And I'm like, is he sick or what's going on? What's the actual reason for him not going instead of I don't know. I felt they kind of jumped the gun and saying oh, E3's falling apart. But what was it? So last year or 2018, the ESA accidentally leaked all that information for the journalists and stuff. It was a big deal, whatever. And so they came out after last year's E3, and they were hey, we're really going to revitalize all of our security systems. We really apologize. And then like earlier this month, they had another leak with like stuff on their website and stuff. And so like the ESA's not doing very well. So maybe not so much E3 is dying. Maybe the ESA is dying. Maybe that's the conversation we should be having. The ESA is responsible. There are
for putting on E3.
Well, they also are the lobby for video games.
Oh no!
So the group that is like, man, microtransactions are bad, or also the group they're like, hey, look at this game with its microtransactions. Give them money so we can take the money. Like that makes a lot of sense. But so yeah, Jeff Keighley will not be. And I always thought his name was Geoff for like the longest time. I like until like maybe 2012. I thought his name was Geoff. I swear. Yeah. So he won't be at E3. Let's see. Do you got any more news?
I think that's it for me.
Yeah. Okay. So what we got? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Need for Speed. You love Need for Speed, right? You're a huge racing fan. Just a huge racing fan.
I play some, but I'm not a huge fan of Need for Speed.
So this is from Chris Priestman at IGN. EA has announced that lead development for the Need for Speed games is moving back to UK studio Criterion. EA told GI.biz the reason for this is because it struggled to find the right talent for the series in Gothenburg. I thought that was Gotham. Or Gothenburg, where current Need for Speed developer Ghost Games is situated. Criterion is based in Guildford, one of the UK's hotspots for game developers, so EA is hoping to have more luck there. Criterion is known for the Burnout games and for making 2010's Need for Speed Hot Pursuit and 2012's Need for Speed Most Wanted. However, Criterion was downsized in 2013 and the development for Need for Speed games was moved to Swedish studio Ghost Games. This is awesome. For fans that love Need for Speed, Ghost Games has released 4 Need for Speed games since they've taken it, and they've all gotten worse over time. To the point to where Need for Speed Heat that came out this past, I think October or September, looked worse than their first one that came out in 2015. Graphically, it looked worse. Yeah. And it's just like the story is really bad. They're trying to tie it into nostalgia by adding the cars from Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2. They added it into Need for Speed Heat to be like, oh, look, memories. And it was just like, no, you got a really crappy story wrapped around really crappy gameplay. And so now it's like EA, the fact that EA was like, okay, this isn't working out for us. What's surprising is that the Need for Speed franchise is worth it enough that they're moving it back to the studio. So that's a cool, I think that's cool. That's pretty cool. It's cool. Also, Remedy, the Remedy developers are hinting at further content for Control. I actually did a review of Control. Was it?
Just last week.
Yeah, as of recording this, it was last week. So this is from IGN. I can't remember who actually wrote this. It might not be from IGN. Remedy Entertainment has hinted at the possibility of more projects set in the world of Control, saying this is just the start of the work in the weird, wild setting. Remedy Communications Director Thomas Puha addressed, a lot of our recent work was getting Remedy into a position where we can create Control, and we can hopefully keep moving more Control, so yeah, absolutely, and especially with all the love we're getting. There are so many things that we know we can do and we can do and explore, so I'd say this is just the start. The game's executive producer, Juha Vainio, continued, there's no one in the current Control team who wants out. There's actually people who want in, so we have a positive problem, which is always a good thing. Control, it won Game of the Year, at least the IGN.
So based on what he's saying here, do you think this is just going to be more add-ons, or do you think they're going to do like a Control 2?
So they recently had a earnings call type thing, and they're working on the single player portion of that massive shooter that's coming to Xbox that got announced last year at E3. It's Smilegate is developing it. I can't remember what it's called. Crossfire X. They're working on the single player portion of that, which is really odd. They are also working on a unannounced multiplayer game called Vanguard, and then they're also working at 2 secret projects. Those could mean anything. It sounds like from this they're talking about expansions, but they recently got the rights to Alan Wake, And so I think that one of those is probably what they're doing with Control,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one is a sequel to Alan Wake, which is what everyone has wanted. And Control confirmed outright that Alan Wake is a thing, and it happened in the world of Control. So they're all connected.
Essentially, they could almost do a Control 2, but as an Alan Wake remake or something.
Yeah, they could totally do that. And where Control takes is the oldest house.
Mm-hmm.
The oldest house is a ethereal. It's in the ethereal plane or ethereal plane, to where it's like, the girl was leaving. She walked into the building off the streets of New York, but that's not where it's always at.
Yeah,
the building was there because it wanted her to find it. So this building can go anywhere.
Okay.
And like the spoilers for this, but I know you're not going to play it and stuff. But like when you get to the foundation of the oldest house, there's this slab that is connected to the ground, and it's Yggdrasil. It's the Yggdrasil, the world tree.
Mm-hmm.
And so the oldest house is built to protect the oldest tree, which is connected to all the planes. And so like it's connected to like the Nordic mythology.
That's cool.
And then so in Alan Wake, there are these two old guys, and they're in a band, and they're called like Nordic Gods of the Thunder or something like that. And there's this awesome scene in Alan Wake where you have to protect them while they're playing the show. And so they're playing a death metal show while you're like defending them from all these monsters. They make an appearance in Control. Their music's in Control. That's actually the music that plays during the Ashtray Maze. So that's their music, and they make a Control through audio in that game. And so it's rumored that they're actually like the gods of this world. And they're just like, so the rumor is that they're Thor and Loki, and they're just portraying as old men to like, mess with people.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm like, Control is just like, and it's from Remedy. Remedy's made Max Payne 1, 2, Alan Wake, the expansion for Alan Wake, Quantum Break, and now Control. They've made 6 games since they found it. I would love to do like a retrospective episode, like just on Control.
Yeah, no, we could do something like that. It'd be interesting.
Because it's just like it's a super cool thing for me. Because you don't like. Well, if you played Control, I think you would like it, but it's also not your cup of tea.
Yeah.
And our last bit of news, we're gonna end on a downer. Well, I guess it shouldn't be a downer. It's not supposed to be a downer, but it could potentially be a downer. BioWare announces major overhaul of Anthem. Matt Kim at IGN says BioWare General Manager Casey Hudson announced in a new blog post that the developers at BioWare will be redesigning Anthem and that it will reinvent the core gameplay loop. The effort is meant to be a larger overhaul of Anthem instead of just a series of updates and expansions.
Okay, so given what EA has managed to do with Star Wars Battlefront 2, I gotta give them a little bit of credit on this one.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have put this game out in the state it was in. I think that was a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they really kind of pushed BioWare into like a really hard spot of not having enough development time. But like I said, with Battlefront 2, they're like, crap, we made a mistake. Let's, not just cut it off. Let's go back and fix it. Now Battlefront 2 is a really good game.
Yeah.
So that being said, I think, about a year from now, Anthem might be a really good game.
Yeah.
They could go back in. They could add a lot of stuff in. The core mechanics of the game was fun.
Yeah, it felt fun.
It felt like, you're pretty much like Iron Man with a bunch of different weapons flying around and shooting stuff. The environments were neat. There's a lot of... it wasn't just flat. It was a very dynamic environment.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. I mean, there was a lot of potential there. I think the idea of them doing the whole like first person story based stuff and then going to third, I don't think that really worked.
Yeah.
First of all, they shouldn't have had BioWare make this game. Like that's where they screwed up. They should have someone with multiplayer experience to make this, and not one of the best single player development teams. I mean, this team made Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. Let's have them make a multiplayer game. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. There was some quote. I heard about it and I completely forgot about it. I was going to post it on the doc, but it was something like, "Oh yeah, now we can quality test, the gameplay loop and all this kind of stuff." I'm like, you didn't do that before. You just kind of made the game and pushed it out. You didn't test it. You just kind of gave yourself away.
Yeah. But
no, I mean, I'm excited. I mean, hopefully, because you got to think, Battlefront 2, Andromeda, and Anthem all came out close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, it was, and those games were probably thought of and like in development and pre-production all around the same time.
Yeah.
So it was just bad management that led down to like, because BioWare's not a bad team.
No.
You know, they haven't made a bad game since Andromeda and then Anthem. And those were just troubled, you know, development cycles. They weren't like a crappy team working on a franchise that's beloved. It was just it was unfortunate rather than just like mismanaged.
But
like
it does look like EA is figuring out what they have to do to fix things now. Like this is, you know, Battlefront 2, Andromeda, and now Anthem has really hurt their credibility as a major publisher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like EA is turning around, and it's just odd that they're like, Anthem's been out for a year.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh hey, yeah, we are going to, you know, remake and, you know, reinvent, fix up Anthem. But it's like, it's been out for a year.
From the start?
Yeah, like you could have just delayed Anthem. I mean, I guess
I remember they put out like a roadmap and then they canceled the roadmap.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's never a good sign.
Another thing, I don't know if I brought this up on last week's extended forum, but remember, I told you. Remember, I was like, oh yeah, you know, the Christmas lights are still up.
Mm-hmm.
I totally take that back now. They posted that they're extending the Christmas event all the way through February to make sure that everyone gets it. I was totally like, oh look, they're making, you know, they're not even updating their game, and it was like, no, they were totally like did that on purpose. So that's my bad. But I felt pretty bad about that. But also going into that, like, you know, Disney wants more games to make, wants more developers to make games like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
And there's a rumor that there's a new Star Wars game. And then, you know, who was he? The dude that was at Respawn. I can't remember his name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. He was the guy that made Jedi Fallen Order. He was the guy that made Vince Zampella. That's his name.
Yeah.
He made Apex, Titanfall. We could do a whole episode on this dude. I didn't know this, but him and his buddy, who he had left to form another studio, left Infinity Ward to form Respawn, and they got bought by EA.
Mm-hmm.
They created Call of Duty 1, 2, 3, 4, Modern Warfare 2, and Modern Warfare 3.
Darn.
Like, they were the heads of that development cycle. They created that, left with like 90 people to form Respawn, and made Titanfall. And then Titanfall 2, and then Apex Legends, and then Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. These two people might be the greatest creative directors. You know, they're not so much like a Kojima, where he's like he has control of everything, or like a Neil Druckmann, you know, with The Last of Us. But these two people are like created what competitive games are known for today.
Yeah, some like the most iconic like bits of like multiplayer games. And
then mix that with the rumors of the Knights of the Republic reboot.
I would love to see a new Knights of the Old Republic.
Did you play?
I did not.
Yeah.
It was a PC thing, and I didn't have a good PC back then.
Yeah. It's just like EA could pull a Ubisoft.
Yeah.
And
turn
it
around.
Yeah, like another Star Wars game, and like with Disney wanting more developers to make games like that, it's kind of funny because it was like Disney was quiet when Battlefront 1 and 2 came out, with all the cancellations come out. As soon as
they were quiet to the press.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sure
true.
that they called in the heads of EA, and they're like, "What is going on?
Yeah,
you are losing us money. You're making people hate Star Wars. We're about to breach your contract."
EA is the reason that the movies are bad. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's Disney.
Yeah, I think we can name a name, but we're not going to, Kathleen. But so it's funny that like Disney is coming out and they're like, yeah, see, look what EA did, do that. And so there's more to the statement and stuff. So I was like, hopefully there's going to be more studios can do this.
Yeah, and you know, this also proves to the industry that single player games are not dead,
and they never were.
No, I mean, it's just like companies want that constant monetization.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to. Yeah, they're like, you know, we can make, you know, $100 billion, you know, constantly from like all these microtransactions, or we could make $100 million off just selling some single player stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, and like Ubisoft is, in my opinion, the best studio that does this. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like what you were saying with For Honor, with Rainbow Six Siege, and like Assassin's Creed is my favorite franchise.
Yeah,
Origins and Odyssey both had a season pass that was meaty, and I mean like hours and hours of content, and then they have microtransactions. And what's so cool is that people give them crap for this, but like they do a time saver pack, and I wish other games would do this, because like being a dad or being a husband or working crazy hours, it's awesome to have the option to drop $5 or $10 and to get like a permanent 50% XP boost.
Yeah,
and that carries across multiple characters.
Yeah, see, stuff like that I don't have a problem with, as long as it's not like a multiplayer thing. You know? Like,
yeah.
If you do something like that to the people who cannot play the game as much but enjoy it and want to get a full experience out of it, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, really, developers just need to take a little bit of common sense to things, make sure everything stays balanced. I don't want to see them go, well, we could just drop the experience you get out of everything by 50% and then you pay to get that back. Like, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if you want to do a little bit extra above and beyond for the people who don't have as much time to put into something, but still want to get a rich experience out of it, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and like another thing that I forgot to bring up with the Call of Duty Battle Pass, I think they added a 10% permanent increase to XP like across all players that have the Battle Pass.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that either.
If you look where the token section is,
yes,
right above it, it says 10% XP increase, and I think it's permanent while you have the Battle Pass.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, it's only 10%, but it's still like...
something.
Yeah, I'm like, for $10, I wonder if you can get more if you paid for the $20 tier. Did you...
I haven't bought one
You
yet.
haven't yet? Well, if you do, see if it says 20%, because that would be kind of cool if you get an extra XP boost. All right, well, I think that's all the stories that we have today or this week.
We had a lot going on this week.
Yeah, there was actually a lot more. So I'm Zach.
And I'm Lindsay.
And we're the Game Forum.